My child, in the midst of the world's countless clamor and bustling voices, I utter a call that only awakened souls can hear. This call does not thunder like the storm, nor arrive through fierce gales. It comes as gently as a passing breath, yet it carries the power to stir the hearts of the chosen. It is an invitation that rises from the deepest realms of the heavenly domain, reserved for those who have ears to hear, hearts to feel, and the courage to step away from the slumbering crowd. That call, my beloved child, is mine. I do not come in the noise of the world, but I arrive in the stillness of your heart. When you begin to feel unsatisfied with the usual busyness, when the things that once captivated you suddenly lose their flavor, that is the sign I am knocking on the door of your heart. Have you ever felt that, though the world offers everything, it still cannot fill the emptiness inside you? That is because you were made for something far greater. You were made for me. And when I begin to call you, you will not be able to pretend you do not hear. That stirring will pursue you in your sleep, in every glance, in every passing breeze, not because I wish to trouble you, but because I love you too deeply to let you wander forever. My child, what is happening around you is no accident. The strange dreams, the lingering unease without reason, the moments you awaken in the night with a racing heart, these are all ways I am awakening your soul. I know you may not have learned how to recognize my voice, but you are already sensing it. This stirring does not come from fear, but from truth calling for a response. I am not calling to bring panic. I am calling because the appointed time is drawing near, and I want you, yes, you to be among those prepared for that moment. Do not mistake outward peace for true safety. Do not let the rhythm of daily life deceive you into thinking all will remain as it is. There are moments in human history when I intervene not to punish, but to fulfill. And now, such a time is drawing near. It will not come with trumpets or flags, but like a rising wave, quietly signaling to those attuned that something great is approaching. Those who are unaware will continue to sleep, but those who hear me will begin to prepare. And I speak this to you, because you are one of the few who can still hear my voice amid the noise of the world. I know you may be caught up in many responsibilities, concerns, and unfinished plans, but my child, none of those things hold value if you are not standing in the right place within my design. You were not born just to pass the days. You were created to fulfill a sacred mission. And to do that, you must begin by listening to my call. Do not let it pass like a fleeting wind. Do not let this day slip away like all the others. Let it be the beginning of awakening, not because you are strong enough, but because I am near you, every step of the way. My child, when I call, I do not call merely for you to hear. I call for you to respond. And that response is not found in words alone, but in a decision of the heart, a decision that you will no longer walk the same path, a decision that you will seek me, even if it means letting go of what once made you feel secure. I know it is difficult, but I also know that once you take the first step, I will grant you the strength to continue. For I never call anyone only to abandon them along the way. And I will not abandon you. You do not need to wait until everything becomes clear. You do not need to wait until you feel good enough. I do not call the perfect. I call the willing. And if today you feel you have reached the end of an old road, then that is the sign you now stand before the door of a new journey, a journey with me. A journey where you will discover not only the reason for your existence, but also the true power that has always been within you. I will guide you. I will keep you. I will use you. And as the world continues to busy itself with the temporary, you will walk a path illuminated by my presence. You will no longer feel lost, because you will know you belong to me. You will no longer be swept away by what is fleeting, for you have chosen what is eternal. And when you do this, you will not only change your own life, you will become a call to other souls, because you have answered the first call. I will use you to become a voice calling many others. My beloved child, when you look around at the world today, you will see something heartbreaking. Most of humanity has turned its back on the sacred. They live as if only the present exists, as if this life is all there is, and everything beyond their sight is unreal. In the rush of living, people have lost their spiritual sensitivity. They no longer feel my presence, no longer perceive the stirring of my spirit, no longer notice the signs I have scattered throughout the earth. They are too consumed with the trivial to make time for what is eternal. But I tell you this, it is not because I have been silent. I have never ceased to reveal my love and patience. I have left my imprint on every mountain, every star, every breath in mankind. I have spoken through truth, through teaching, through events, and even through silence. I have sent warnings not to frighten, but to awaken. Through droughts, storms, and global upheavals, I have been rousing a slumbering humanity, but people have hardened their hearts, as though they could silence the voice of eternity by simply ignoring it. The world today is not lacking in miracles, but in eyes to see them. It is not lacking in signs of my intervention, but in hearts moved by truth. People are too busy chasing success, immersed in entertainment, striving after profit and fame, unaware that each passing minute is a step closer to an irreversible moment. I do not envy their achievements, but my heart aches because they are giving their all to what will rot away, and neglecting the one thing of eternal value, their soul. My child, there are those who consider themselves wise, but in my eyes, they have become foolish. They construct theories, philosophies, and value systems to replace me. They invoke the name of freedom to deny the one who gave them life. They mock those who follow the light, scoff at wisdom, and exalt what is contrary to holiness. But do not be swayed by that crowd. Do not assume that the majority is always right. In the days before I move, the majority is often the least awake. I remember the days of Noah, when humanity lived in wickedness and scorned the righteous man. They laughed as he built the ark, ignored the warnings, and continued eating, drinking, marrying, and celebrating until the floodwaters came. Then, all laughter ceased, not because I was cruel, but because the time of grace had come to a close. Likewise, today, too many live as if there were no end. They believe they still have many chances to make things right. But my child, who can know if the next breath still belongs to them? There are clear signs I have allowed to unfold upon the world. They are not random events. They are signals lit to awaken mankind. The earth trembles. Hearts grow cold. Society is in disarray. Morality is crumbling. The order is being overturned. These are not merely the results of history's progression, but alarm bells from heaven, He who has ears, let him hear what the Spirit says to the people. But my child, most have gone deaf to truth. They hear but pay no mind. They see but do not perceive. They live but are unaware they are spiritually dying. Yet I see you. I see that you still hold on to spiritual sensitivity. I see that your heart still stirs when you hear truth. I see that you do not want to conform to the world, and that is why I am calling you to step out, not to make you proud, but to make you aware that you are holding something precious that many have missed, the ability to hear my voice and a longing to live for what does not fade away. Remember, my child, spiritual blindness is not always due to ignorance, but often the result of a deliberate choice, a repeated rejection of my word. Each time someone refuses truth, their heart becomes a little more calloused, and at some point, they can no longer feel anything. Even if I scream from the realm of the Spirit, that is what grieves me, not that I am rejected, but that I know the consequences they will face. But my child, you are still hearing my voice, which means there is still hope, not just for you, but for those to whom you will speak. For you will be a voice crying out in the wilderness. Like John once was, you will be a light in the darkness. Like a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. I have not placed you in this world to remain silent. I have placed you among the slumbering crowd to become the bell that awakens. My child, if you are hearing these words in your heart, it is not a coincidence. This is a moment marked on the timeline of your life long before you were born. I am not awakening the whole world at once. I am awakening soul by soul, person by person, heart by heart, and today, I am awakening you. I have not come to speak of surface matters or to add a few new things to your temporary life. I have come to demand a full turning, a complete repositioning of your direction and your destination. Because time is no longer plentiful. Have you ever felt that something is shifting in the air? Even while everything on the outside seems normal, you may not have voiced it. But there is a stirring growing inside you. This is not ordinary anxiety. It is a quiet reminder that everything you once considered stable is beginning to shake. I am the one who is stirring you in this way. I have not sent you a calendar marking the end. I am not giving you a list of future events in detail, but I am giving you something far greater, a spiritual awakening. I am alerting you so that you may prepare not by stockpiling possessions, but by softening your heart, cleansing your soul, and renewing your faith. Many will continue to dismiss this call, offering excuses like, "It's not time yet," or "Later will be better." But, my child, you no longer live in ordinary days. This is not the time for delay. Any hesitation now is a dangerous gamble, for you do not know the day or the hour when the trumpet will sound and the door will be shut. And when that moment comes, no one will be able to enter, not even if they knock and weep. Therefore, you must listen while you still can. Let your heart be tender. Let your eyes weep if they must. Let your old self be crucified so that a new life may begin. My beloved, do not think that preparing for a spiritual event is distant or vague. What I am calling you to is not a complicated ritual or a rigid system of rules. I am calling you back to me with a love that is simple, yet wholehearted. I want you to walk with me each day, not just to pray when trouble comes, but to keep a living relationship with me. As a child speaks often with their father, preparation begins with a repentant heart, is nurtured through prayer, grows by the living word, and is sustained through obedience. Do not let what others say make you falter. Some will say you are dreaming. Some will mock you for choosing to live differently. But remember, Noah was ridiculed when he built the ark in dry land. Abraham was called a fool for leaving his homeland without knowing where he was going. Moses faced resistance when he led my people out of Egypt. Yet each of these obeyed my voice. And because of that, they are remembered for eternity. Those who mocked them vanished like dust in the wind. You do not need to be great for me to choose you. You only need to be willing. Do not wait until you feel strong enough, good enough, or holy enough. I do not call you because you are perfect. I call you so I can transform you. Your surrender will make room for my power. And when you let me work in you, I will use you to awaken others. Your voice, no matter how faint, will carry power when covered by my spirit. A true word from an awakened soul pierces through all walls of sin and apathy. My child, remember this. Everything you do today affects eternity. Do not underestimate the weight of every small decision, every word you speak, every thought you nurture, every action you take or refuse. All of it is shaping who you truly are in my eyes. And on the day of reckoning, I will not be looking at your resume or reputation. I will be looking at your heart. Is it still beating for me? Or has it chased after the things that vanish? That day will come not like a gentle breeze, but like a whirlwind that no one can stop. It will not be announced by clocks, but will strike while the world is lost in parties, plans, and empty confidence. But to those who have stayed awake, that day will not be a disaster, it will be a triumph. For those who have walked with me, it will be the beginning of a season of eternal blessing. And for you, my beloved, I want that day to be one where you lift your head high without shame, without regret. So today, I ask you sincerely and urgently, are you ready? Not ready in words, but in life? Are you living as one who knows they belong to me? Is your lamp still burning? Are you listening to my voice and following the lead of my spirit each day? If yes, then rejoice. If not, then today is the day to begin again. Do not wait for another day. Do not wait for a more convenient time. Time is moving, and the door will not stay open forever. I love you enough to warn you, and I love you enough to wait for you, but this waiting will not be endless. So act while your heart is still tender, while your ears can still hear, and while my light is still shining on your path. My beloved, you are now entering a time when all things will be revealed, no longer hidden. An era of spiritual separation, where light and darkness will no longer blend, where the lukewarm will be cast out, and only those who choose truth will move forward. I am drawing a boundary not to divide by hatred, but to define loyalty. This is the hour when no one can remain in the middle. Whoever does not choose me has, by default, stood against me. My child, the world has lived in ambiguity for too long. People speak my name with their lips, but live as if I do not exist. They go to places of worship, sing songs about love and faith, but their hearts are full of doubt, jealousy, and calculation. I am not impressed by outward rituals. I see into the depths of the heart. And now, as the moment of transition arrives, what is true will rise, and what is false will be consumed like straw in fire. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be brought to light. Luke 8:17. That is my word. Do you see it? The upheavals in the world are not merely random. They are spiritual tremors, heralding a sacred cleansing. Things once accepted will be questioned. What was considered normal will be overturned. Value systems will be tested by fire, and only what is built on solid foundations will remain. I did not come to repaint the old systems, but to establish something entirely new, and for the new to rise, the old must fall. This is not the time to cling to what is decaying. It is the time to release what has long been dead. My child, I know it feels like the world is falling apart day by day, but you must understand that is the sign that something good is drawing near. Just as a woman endures pain before giving birth, humanity is groaning before glory bursts forth. The contractions are happening, and you, my beloved one, are not called merely to endure, but to understand, to prepare, and to lead. You cannot tremble like the rest. You cannot retreat when darkness comes. Light was not made to hide, it was made to shine. In the days ahead, much will be overturned. Seats of power will change hands. Voices once ignored will be heard. Those who trusted in their own strength will be brought low, while those who humbled themselves before me will be lifted up, not because they were wise, but because they kept their hearts simple and faithful. This is the season where false thrones will crumble, and I will crown those whom no one expected. And you, if you keep your heart pure and loyal, you will see my hand do this. Even in the midst of chaos, my child, do not be surprised when those who once walked beside you begin to turn away. It's not because you are wrong, but because they cannot walk the path that has now been consecrated. You will see relationships fade. Doors that once stood wide suddenly shut. Do not grieve. This is a sign that I am renewing your journey. You cannot carry everything with you into the new season. There are things, people, even ideas, no matter how good, that cannot cross this threshold with you. Do not cling to what I am removing. This is the time when I am drawing out those who are mine, not to hide them, but to set them apart, to keep them from being mixed with the unclean flow, to make them living witnesses of a kingdom not of this world. And you, I have written your name among them, not because you are more worthy, but because you listened, not because you are more capable, but because you said yes in your heart. Now I will shape you, refine you, and place you exactly where I have destined. And that is not a burden, it is an honor. So, my child, when everything around you becomes hard to understand, do not be shaken. When others begin to compromise, keep yourself from mixture. When my voice seems silent, remember, I am still working behind the veil of night. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the time to stand firm, not in your own strength, but in full trust in me. For what I have begun is something great, and what I begin, I will bring to completion. My beloved child, when the line between light and darkness has been clearly drawn, loyalty is no longer something that can be hidden. I do not seek those who merely profess with their lips, but I weigh the heart through action, through choices made when no one is watching, through silent responses when misunderstood, isolated, or opposed. Now, spiritual separation ushers in a new season, the season of testing by fire, not to harm you, but to reveal who you truly are, to refine your nature, and to glorify my name through your life. Many desire reward, honor, and elevation, yet they shy away from trials and avoid seasons of affliction. But, my child, no crown is ever placed on a head without first carrying the cross. No glory is given without walking through the furnace of refinement. As gold is tried in fire, so must the chosen be tested through suffering. See Zechariah 13-9. If you long to belong to me deeply, then you must also be willing to endure, so that your faith is not mere words, but a living testimony amid a world that stands against you. There will come a time when everything you believe will be challenged to its core, not in theory, but in the rawness of life. The righteousness you uphold will be mocked. Your love for truth will be misinterpreted. The values I've sown into your heart will clash with the current of the world. And when that moment comes, you will have to choose to stand firm even if it costs you, or to compromise for the sake of acceptance. But remember, each time you stand firm in faith, a part of you is refined, a part of the darkness is defeated, and a portion of my kingdom is revealed in you. I do not promise to shield you from every hardship, but I promise to be with you in the midst of them all. I may not stop the storm from rising, but I will be your refuge within it. I may not silence the enemy's roar, but I will grant you a peace so surpassing that it cannot devour you. It is in the moments that seem most desolate that I will reveal my deepest presence to you, and it is in the thickest darkness that my light will shine most brilliantly within your soul. You will see some who once walked beside you fall away. They won't be able to bear the heat of truth. They will retreat. They will choose a path that is easier, more comfortable, and more widely accepted. They will say you are too extreme, too spiritual, too out of touch. But do not let those words wound you. I too was rejected by my own people. I too was betrayed by a close friend. And I too am the one whom many today are willing to name, but not willing to follow. If you truly love me, it will not surprise you when you are treated as I once was. Do not fear opposition. Do not tremble at criticism. Do not falter when the wicked seem to prosper for a moment. What I am building in you is not meant to last for months or years, but for eternity. Every time you choose obedience, endurance, forgiveness, and holiness in the midst of a corrupt world, you are anchoring your roots deeper into an unshakable kingdom. And when the great storm comes, it is you who will remain standing, while many are swept away. My child, trials do not come to expose weakness, but to awaken strength that has yet to be revealed. When Job lost everything, he didn't know that his suffering was the stage upon which heaven and hell would witness his faith blazing. When Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, he didn't know that his faithfulness would pave the way for a kingdom to worship me. And when unnamed souls endured torture without denying my name, they didn't realize that their spilled blood would become seeds of righteousness for generations to come. Likewise, you do not yet know what is being recorded as you endure in silence. But I know, I see, I take note of every tear you shed. I remember each time you say no to temptation. I feel every heavy breath when you choose to trust me despite everything appearing against you. That is the true evidence of love, not the songs sung in sanctuaries, but the faithfulness when no one is cheering, not promises spoken, but commitment lived. And my child, I will not let that faithfulness be forgotten. Every experience you go through will be used to prepare you for a greater glory. Every wound you endure will become a mark I use to heal others. Every loss you accept for my sake will become part of a reward that no one can steal from your hands. For all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8:28. and you are among them. So do not shy away from the furnace. Do not avoid the season of testing. I am there with you. And when this phase passes, you will not only remain standing, but you will shine brighter than ever before. Your loyalty will become like refined gold. Your faith will become like a precious gem in a dusty marketplace. And you will step into a new season one where I will reveal you to the world as a living witness of my power and faithfulness. My child, when you choose to walk with perseverance amid opposition and hardship, I do not only look upon you with mercy, but with divine admiration. Do you know this? Every faithful decision you make in the dark is a resounding spiritual declaration in the heavens. Every time you reject compromise at the cost of comfort, you declare that you do not belong to this world. You are living with a purpose far beyond what the eye can see. You are walking toward an eternal reward that the world cannot grasp or measure. There are things I have not revealed to you, not because I wish to withhold them, but because if I showed you everything, you would no longer need to live by faith. It is in walking without yet seeing that you truly become like the righteous ones before you, those who saw from afar and welcomed it, acknowledging they were strangers and exiles on the earth. See Hebrews 11:13. And my child, you are among them. Though your name may not be recorded in earthly history books, it is engraved upon my heart. I know there are times you feel exhausted. I know there are days you pray and hear no reply. I know there are moments you stand alone in a crowd that doesn't understand you, even scorns you. But I say this to you, not one tear you shed is wasted. Not one act of obedience is in vain. Not one faithful step is meaningless. Everything you do for my name is being recorded not only to be rewarded later, but to strengthen your spirit now. For through these very things, you are being prepared to receive something far greater. Remember those who walked before you. They did not live in modern times, but they bore a faith that this generation sorely lacks. They had no technology, no platform in society, but they possessed undivided hearts. That is what I seek in you today. I do not seek perfection, I seek a heart that is not divided, a heart that belongs fully to me. And when I find that heart, I will pour out all that belongs to my kingdom, peace that cannot be stolen, wisdom that rises above circumstance, and joy that cannot be shaken. My child, there is one promise I will never take back. Those who remain faithful until the end will receive an unfading reward. This reward does not come from man. It is not found in possessions, status, or reputation. It is found in my eternal presence. When you are with me, every longing you've ever carried will be completely fulfilled. No more loneliness, no more uncertainty, no more unanswered questions. Only complete peace, because you will finally be home. But even before that day comes, you will begin to see the fruit of your faithfulness. While others tremble at uncertainty, you will stand firm because you are anchored in me. While the world chases after empty things, you will remain clear-minded, guided by my Spirit. You will not be swept away, because you are holding fast to an unshakable foundation. You will be a refuge for those seeking direction. I will make you a light in the darkness, salt in a decaying world, and those who once scorned you will return, seeking words from your mouth. I do not promise you won't be attacked, but I promise no weapon formed against you will prevail. I do not promise you won't be misunderstood, but I promise I will defend you at the right time. I do not promise you will avoid every battle, but I promise you will never fight alone. For I go before you as a mighty warrior, and when you stand in the battlefield, you do not stand as a victim, but as one who has already been declared victorious. You may feel small in this world, but in my hands, you are an instrument of transformation. I can use your voice to shatter silence. I can use your steps to blaze trails through deserts. I can use your life, no matter how humble, to write a spiritual legacy that no force can erase. And I long to do this, because you did not retreat when others ran. You did not extinguish when the fires of testing came. You did not deny me when your faith was put on trial. So, my child, keep your heart strong. Keep walking. Keep obeying. Keep loving even when wounded. Keep speaking truth even when misunderstood. Because the reward set aside for you does not come from human hands, but from mine, and I am never late in rewarding those who earnestly seek me. And on that day, when you stand before me free of burdens, free of battles, free of anguish, I will look you in the eye, call you by name, and say, "My child, you did not deny me in hardship. You held your faith when everything around you collapsed. You were faithful in the little. Now step into the great Come and enjoy what I have prepared for you since before time began. My beloved child, it is time I speak to you about something that can no longer be delayed, the true life of the soul, not mere physical existence, not just the beating of a heart, but the life that comes from the depths of the spirit where, if neglected, your entire life becomes an empty shell. I did not create you just to breathe, work, eat, and then die. I created you with an eternal purpose, a profound purpose that, if lost, will leave you feeling desolate and drained. Even if the whole world were laid at your feet, there are many who are alive in body but dead in spirit. They walk, speak, work, and interact. Yet within them is a vast desert. They no longer dream deep dreams. They no longer heed the voice of conscience. They no longer tremble before what is holy. Their souls have grown numb after years of silencing the call from above. They convince themselves that all is well, that they are good enough, successful enough, moral enough. But the truth is, they have lost their spiritual breath. And you, if you have ever felt yourself nearing that edge, know that I am coming to rescue you from it. I do not wait for you to collapse before I intervene. I come before that moment arrives, for I am the shepherd of your soul. When I see your heart beginning to grow cold, I do not turn away. I draw closer. When you begin to forget your original purpose, I do not condemn you. I remind you. When it seems you no longer seek me as you once did, I do not retreat. I call you home. The prolonged silence between us does not discourage me. It only deepens my yearning to awaken you. And what I long for is not a fleeting repentance, but a full resurrection from within. My child, have you ever wondered why? At times, you feel empty, even though nothing seems lacking. There are days when you have not stumbled in any clear way, yet your soul feels like it is slowly dimming. That is the moment your soul is crying out for help. It cannot live on intellect, cannot be sustained by achievements, nor healed by outward relationships. It revives only when reconnected to its true source me. Everything else is temporary. I alone am the wellspring that never runs dry. And if you return to me, you will see that this is true. I have not come merely to instruct or awaken. I have come to bring life. I have not come to build a religion, But to restore a relationship, I do not need scripted rituals. I need a sincere heart. You don't need eloquent words. You only need a single whisper from the depths of your being. Lord, restore me. And even that one whisper is enough to set heaven into motion. For when a soul chooses to return, all the angels in my kingdom rejoice more than over any earthly triumph. My dear one, I know you may have been disappointed in yourself. Perhaps you have made promises you couldn't keep. Perhaps you've walked through seasons of burning spiritual passion, only to fall into years of dryness. I am not unfamiliar with those seasons. I have seen them play out in the lives of many whom I dearly love. But what makes the difference is not how many times they fell, it is that they got back up and sought me again. The very fact that you still feel the need to be awakened is the sign that the fire of the Spirit has not gone out within you. And today, I come to rekindle that fire not with a violent wind, but with a gentle breath, not with condemnation, but with invitation. I do not focus on your string of failures. I focus on the potential still sleeping within you. I do not count the times you turned away. I prepare for the time you return. And I do not merely open my door. I run out to meet you while you are still on the way. Because my love for you is unlike anything this world has ever taught you. It is unconditional, unlimited, and unfading. But you must choose. Restoration cannot be imposed. Resurrection never comes through force. I can stir, I can call, I can make a way, but it is you who must step forward. You must recognize your need to be revived. You must humble yourself and admit how far you've drifted from the source. And when you do, I will restore you instantly, not only through forgiveness, but with new life. A fresh breath will be blown into your soul. A new door will open in your mind, and you will walk into the very season I have prepared for you since the beginning. Do you remember the last time you wept in my presence? The last time your heart trembled as you felt me near? Those moments were not illusions. They were real. They were intersections of heaven and earth, and you can experience them again more deeply, more fully, not occasionally, but daily. I do not desire a cyclical relationship with you. I long for a steadfast connection. I want to walk with you not only in hardship, but also in the mundane, not only in celebration, but also in the silence. So, my child, don't merely survive each day. Live fully. Live in my presence. Do not let your soul wither any longer. I am ready to refresh you, to pour out new oil and new wine upon you. I am waiting for your response. And if today, in the midst of all the busyness, you pause and say, Lord, rekindle the fire within me, then in that very moment, resurrection will begin. My beloved child, true revival is not a fleeting emotional surge, but a profound journey that begins with sincere repentance and unfolds daily through a vibrant relationship with me. I do not awaken you one night only to leave you groping in the fading light. No, I am the faithful companion. When I begin a work in your soul, I will also bring it to completion with unwavering faithfulness. But you must understand, revival does not come hastily. It requires you to slow down, to let go of the old, and to relearn how to live from the one who created you. Renewing the soul is a process. Much like spring following winter, the frost does not vanish at once, but little by little, each warm ray softening the hardened earth, each gentle rain stirring the dormant seed. Likewise, when I begin to restore you, I will touch every part of you, the wounded parts, the calloused parts, the ones you've hidden behind masks of strength. I will peel back the layers with tenderness, not to wound you further, but to keep you from deceiving yourself. For to truly live, you must have the courage to face what you've long buried within. You may ask, how do I start again? And I tell you, the beginning is not found in outward action, but in an inward decision, the decision to let me enter every hidden place within you that you've kept closed. Open up. Let me touch even the old scars, even the dark corners you fear to remember. I do not come to judge, but to heal. I do not uncover to shame, but to bring into light what must be set free. When you sincerely offer me your brokenness, I will use it to build something new within you. The journey of revival will take you through two rivers, the river of tears and the river of joy. At first, there may be days when you feel fragile like a child, learning to walk again, stumbling, unsure. But don't be discouraged. Every small step you take toward me is a spiritual victory. I see your efforts, and though the world may not understand the battles you are fighting, I do. I notice every time you resist temptation, every time you choose to forgive when hurt, every time you quietly whisper to me, I want to live again. It is those quiet moments that write the opening lines of your new story. And gradually, you will begin to notice something strange. The things that once drained you no longer shake you. The voices of the world lose their pull. The little things in life begin to shine with new meaning. A loving glance from a stranger fills you with gratitude. A quiet morning becomes sacred, because when the soul is renewed, the world around you changes, not because everything is different, but because you are different. You begin to see everything through my perspective. Your eyes are no longer veiled by shadows, and your heart no longer covered by the thick ice of numbness. My child, true revival is not merely returning to what once was. It is stepping into what has never been. I do not only restore what you lost, I give you more. I give you a life with purpose, a fire that cannot be quenched, a vision that goes beyond the present. You will no longer live by the rhythm of others' expectations, but by the beat of my own heart. You will learn to listen to my Spirit's leading, even in the smallest things. You will begin to recognize the signs I place around you, and you will begin to influence those around you without raising your voice. Do not worry if you don't see results immediately. Do not be afraid if there are days when you feel like you're slipping backward. Revival does not move in a straight line. There will be highs and stillness, but through it all, I am still working. Seeds do not sprout in noise. They grow in silence, in the dark soil, nurtured by quiet faithfulness. And one day, they break through unstoppable. So too, the work I am doing in you will blossom. If you keep your heart soft and your spirit steady, my dear one, do not rush to compare your journey of revival to another's. Every soul has its own timeline. I work according to the rhythm of each heart. What matters is not how fast or slow you go, but that you do not turn back. Take each step, each breath, each decision, and trust that I am leading you. Even when you can't see the full picture, do not fear the days when you cannot feel me clearly. True faith does not always need emotion. True faith is knowing I am there, even when you feel nothing. And as you continue to live in this renewal, you will not be the only one changed. Those around you will sense something different. They will see in your eyes a light they thought lost. They will hear in your words the gentleness of grace. They will find in your presence a comfort they cannot explain. And they will ask, "What happened to you?" And then, without hesitation, you will be able to say, "It was him. He awakened me. He gave me life again." My beloved child, resurrection is not the end. It is only the beginning of a new journey. When your soul is renewed, it is not so you may return to the life you once knew, but so you may enter into an entirely different dimension of living. You were not created merely to survive day by day, but to live victoriously, not to cower in avoidance of sin, but to live as one who has been set free, one who knows to whom they belong and why they still walk this earth. The new life I have given you is unlike the life the world advertises. It does not rely on circumstances. It does not rise and fall with emotions. It is not fragile like the empty promises of man. This life flows from my unchanging presence. It is a life that steadies your steps even when the ground beneath you trembles. It is a life that allows you to remain in peace when others are in chaos, to love when rejected, to forgive when wounded. And you can only live this life when you no longer live for yourself, but for the one who called you out of death into the light. My child, true life is not found in the avoidance of trials, but in how you face them. And when you live in renewal, trials cease to be threats and become opportunities for your faith to be forged. You will learn to see every difficulty as a chance to reveal my power. You will stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and instead begin asking, "Lord, what can I learn from this? And what do you want to reveal through me?" In that moment, you are not merely restored, you become one who brings life to others. I want you to become a river, not a stagnant pool. I do not renew you so you may hoard the blessing, but so you may flow. And in that flowing, you will discover a joy deeper than anything you have ever known. A joy that comes from knowing your life is no longer your own, but a vessel in the hands of the Creator. There is no higher calling than this, not to live for fame, not to be remembered by name, but to live so that I may be made known through you. Beloved child, when you live in the new life, the things you once clung to will begin to fade. The old values will lose their appeal. What the world calls success will no longer be your goal, for your eyes will be open to what holds eternal worth. And in that moment, you will taste true freedom, freedom from comparison, from fear, from the expectations of others. You will no longer live to please the world, but to delight my heart. And in that freedom, you will become stronger than ever before. You may wonder, how do I keep this fire alive? And I tell you, keep coming close to me each day. Don't live off a spiritual moment from the past. Live from present communion. Feed your soul with my word. Water your spirit in quiet moments of my presence. And walk with others who seek what is real. Learn to walk by faith, not by feelings. And if you begin to grow cold, don't wait. Return to me immediately, for I am always ready to rekindle the fire in you. If you would only draw near, new life does not come once and remain unchanged. It must be nurtured daily. Just as fire needs fuel, your soul needs constant connection with me. And I will never turn away a heart that comes with sincerity. If you keep your heart tender, I will teach you step by step. If you are willing to learn, I will guide you through every rough path. If you obey, I will lead you to places beyond your imagining. My child, this new life is not a reward for the perfect, but a gift for the surrendered, and you have chosen it. Now I call you to walk in what you have received. Live as one who has risen. Speak as one who carries a message of hope. Act as one who has passed through spiritual death and now lives to proclaim life. Do not wait for convenience. Do not think you must be stable before you serve. Right now, in your present state, I can use you, because the life I placed in you is not weak, not passive, not vague. It is life from my very spirit. And when you walk in that life, no power can stifle you. No opposition can defeat you. For I myself uphold you with my mighty hand. And right in the midst of a dry and barren world, you will become a root sunk deep into the fountain of life, a sturdy tree in the desert, casting shade for the weary and bearing fruit for the hungry. So, my beloved child, remember this: you are no longer who you used to be. You have been made new. You have been called out of darkness into my marvelous light. You have been resurrected to live for me. Do not look back. Do not retreat. Keep going forward. For ahead of you lies a glorious journey, and I will never leave your side. Not for a single day, not for a single hour, until the race is finished and you hear these words from my very lips: well done, my faithful servant. Come and receive your reward. My dear child, throughout human history, there have always been marked moments, times ordained by me, irreversible turning points where the destinies of nations, families, and individual souls are sealed. These moments do not come unexpectedly to those who listen for my voice. They are not sudden flashes from a clear sky, but are heralded by signs, echoed in the conscience, visible in the spirit, and declared through my word. And now, you are standing before one of those moments, a moment not only destined for the world, but for your very life. Do you feel it? A stirring beneath the surface of all things, not chaos. But disruption, not fear, but expectancy, as if all of creation holds its breath, as if something great is about to break forth, though it has no name yet. I am the one shaking the heavens and the earth to prepare the way for what I have ordained. And you, if you are listening, will recognize that not everything in your life is shifting by chance. It is I who am aligning every detail to prepare you for that appointed hour. Remember those whom I called at the right moment. Abraham was called while settled in Ur, Moses while tending sheep in the wilderness. Esther was brought into the palace for such a time as this. David was anointed while still a nameless shepherd. Each thought life would continue as usual until I knocked, and in a single moment, everything they knew was redirected. They were not chosen because they were more capable than others, but because they were willing to respond when my moment arrived. Likewise, my child, I am knocking on the door of your life, not with noise, but with subtle stirrings that cannot be ignored. What was once easy now feels hard. Places once comfortable now unsettle you. Old dreams lose their pull. This is not a crisis, it is a shift. It is how I move you from the old place, from old thinking, from comfort zones, into the place I prepared for you before the world began. And if you feel you no longer belong where you once fit, it is because your soul has awakened to a higher purpose. Beloved, appointed times do not wait for the unready. They come on time, not by man's calendar, but by heaven's, and when they arrive, those who are ready will step into a new season with power and revelation. Those who ignore the call will miss the divine train, not because I abandoned them, but because they did not listen. And I cannot place a divine mission into the hands of someone still spiritually asleep. What I am about to do will not be gentle. It will topple what is shaky, expose what is false, and reveal what is true. Can you see why all things are being tested by fire? Because I am distinguishing the temporary from the eternal. What man has built from ambition will fall, and what has been conceived through calling will rise. If you cling to what has expired, you will miss what I am renewing. But if you are willing to let go, I will place in your hands a key that opens a door no one can shut. Behold, I have set before you an open door, which no one is able to shut. Revelation 3-8. This is not just a promise, it is a reality waiting for you to step into. Do not wait until all is clear before you move. I do not call you to walk by sight, but by faith. When I called Abraham, he didn't know where he was going. When I called Gideon, he was still trembling. When I called Jeremiah, he felt too young. But what made the difference was not ability, it was obedience. And today, what I seek in you is not a perfect resume, but a heart that simply says, "Here I am, Lord." With that alone, I will take care of the rest. I have appointed a time for you, a moment no one else can replace, no one else can fulfill. A promise kept hidden in my heart through the ages is now coming to pass, and you are the one I have chosen to walk into its fulfillment. You are not here by accident. Your life is not a string of coincidences. It is all within my plan. And now, the door is open. I am calling you to step out, not to look back, not to regret, but to take hold of what I have prepared just for you, my beloved child. When a divinely appointed time arrives from heaven, what you need is not human calculation, but spiritual alertness. For the moment set by me is unlike anything you've ever experienced. It does not follow the schedules of this world, nor does it wait for the approval of those around you. It comes like the dawn, silent, yet irresistible, and only those who are awake recognize that the first light has broken through. I want you to be among them. Being spiritually awake doesn't mean you always know what will happen next. Awakening isn't about having all the answers, but about keeping a tender heart toward the whisper of my spirit. When you begin to find yourself questioning more, searching deeper, asking unsettling questions, that is when I am stirring you. I will not let you rest in artificial satisfaction. I will not let you slumber in comfortable stability. I shake you not because you are wrong, but because I long to lead you higher, deeper, and wider. You may have once had great dreams, but now you are stepping into what I have dreamed for you from the beginning. The difference is this: your dreams may be limited by what you see, but my plans go beyond vision, beyond capability, beyond imagination. And for that reason, as you step into your appointed time, you will find yourself in situations for which your intellect did not prepare you, but your faithfulness did. Every small step you took with me in the past has been preparation for this very moment. Child, to enter into the time I have appointed, you must let go of the old, not because it was bad, but because it no longer fits. I cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. I cannot pour heaven's freshness into a mind filled with assumptions and doubt. If you still cling to old ways of thinking, old habits, old identities. You will not be able to receive what I am unfolding. A new time demands a new person, not a better version of your old self, but someone completely renewed in mind, in posture, in faith. So, prepare your heart like softened soil. Let me till the hardened corners, the areas you don't want anyone to touch. Let me uproot the bitter roots, the pieces of doubt, the settled dust of fear. I do not do this to hurt you, but to cleanse the ground so that new seeds may be sown. And when those seeds are planted, they will grow quickly, because they do not come from man, but from me. Everything I sow carries life, and that life will bear fruit in its season. You will begin to change. The things that once made you hesitate will no longer hold you in fear. Doors that were once closed will open not by pressure, but by my hand. People who once overlooked you will come, not because of you, but to hear my words through you. You will be surprised to find yourself in places you never imagined, not because you built a brand or created influence, but because I chose the time to bring you into the role I authored for you before time began. I want you to understand this clearly. My child, appointed time is not a reward for perfection, but the result of obedience. You may feel you're not good enough, not ready enough, but I do not ask for flawlessness. I ask for a heart that truly belongs to me, a heart that may tremble, yet still says yes, a heart that may not understand, yet moves forward, a heart that does not demand guarantees, but demand me. And if you carry such a heart, then know you are more ready than you think. Readiness does not come when everything is clear, but when you trust me in what you do not see. It is the step Abraham took when he left his homeland. It is Mary's yes when she heard the angel's voice. It is Peter's response when I called him out of the boat. And likewise, you are being called to step out of your comfort zone, not to wander, but to move with purpose. Not to prove yourself, but to fulfill the purpose I have placed within you. My child, the days ahead may not be easy. Trials will accompany the new doors. But take heart, the one who opens the path is the one who walks before you. I will go before you and level the mountains. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. Isaiah 45:2. You will not walk alone. My hand will lift you when you are weak. My word will be a lamp to your feet, and my spirit will remind you of each step you must take. Do not fear. Do not delay. The time has come. Rise up and step into what I have prepared. Beloved one, the time you are living in is unlike any other season before. This is a moment of sacred transition. A divine shift is unfolding, subtle, yet powerful in the spiritual realm. Where I am moving, what is due, turning unfinished pages, and closing what no longer bears fruit. It is not just a change in circumstances, it is a shift in destiny. And in the midst of this heavenly current, I am calling you not as a spectator, but as an active participant in what I am doing. Many pass through seasons of transition unaware of what they've missed. They feel restlessness, unease with things that once brought comfort, but instead of pausing to ask me, they cling to the old. They hold on to things long dead, hoping life will return from a dry stump. But my child, I do not renew the old. I am doing something entirely new. And if you keep looking back, you will not enter this present season. No one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. Luke 9:62. So, child, do not turn back. Do not grieve over what I am closing. It may have once been good, once held blessing, once was my answer for a former time. But when the season changes, you must change with it. What was once a vessel may become a burden if you refuse to let it go. I know it may bring pain. Relationships once dear may need to be released. Places once called home may now feel foreign. Roles once carried with faithfulness may feel too small for the growing spirit within you. But trust me, everything I close is in preparation for something greater to come. You are living in a chosen season. I'm not speaking of calendars or celestial cycles, but of divine orchestration. A time when heaven is opening. A time when I am repositioning the faithful into strategic places. A time when grace is being poured out in a special way for those willing to move without delay. But at the same time, this is a season where hesitation will cost more than you can measure. For if you miss this moment, the opportunities prepared uniquely for you will pass on, and others will be called to fulfill what was meant to be yours. Do not think I say this to frighten you. No, I say it to awaken you, because I love you too deeply to remain silent when such a critical hour has come. I do not want you to awaken in another season. Look back and regret, if only I had moved when the Lord called. I want you to say, I followed him in time. Though I did not see everything clearly, I did not delay. For there is no greater joy than walking fully into what has been appointed for you on time. In season, with the right heart. Beloved, this is not the time to hesitate, not the time to retreat to safe places, not the time to wait for further confirmation. What you need has already been given: the signs, the stirrings, the repeated words from many sources, and the inner shift within you. If your heart is restless, no longer at peace with the old things, that is a clear sign. The season has changed. And if you wait until there is nothing left to lose, you may already have lost the most precious thing, the moment. Remember, not everything that is right will be easy. Sometimes what I call you to will challenge all logic, all comfort, and everything you've built. But I do not call to destroy. I call to lift up. And whatever you leave behind, for my sake, I will replace with more than you imagined. You cannot fathom what I have prepared on the other side of obedience. But you will never know unless you step forward. So trust me enough to say yes again. Not a yes born of fleeting emotion, but a yes of matured faith. A faith that knows delay is also a form of denial. A faith that knows if you don't move in my timing, you may still walk, but walk in dryness. Move while the ground is still soft, while heaven's gates are still open, while my spirit is still guiding. For once the season passes, you must wait for another cycle. And a new cycle does not come as soon as you think. You do not walk alone. I will go before you as a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. I will give bread in the wilderness and water from the rock. I will drive back the enemy and cause obstacles to fall. But I need you to move. I need you to believe. I need you to take action. For the blessing is not for those who hesitate, but for those who walk when I call. And I am calling you right now not to prepare more, but to act. Do you hear my voice? It is no longer a gentle whisper. It is the urgent call of a closing season. Rise up, my beloved. Do not let this moment slip by like any other day. Do not let hesitation steal the one opportunity I prepared just for you. Step out with trembling feet if you must, but with a resolute heart. For I, the Lord your God, go before you, and if you follow me, you will not only be led, you will be utterly transformed. My beloved child, there are moments in your spiritual journey when the darkness does not merely press in from the outside, but slowly creeps within. These are the days when even prayer feels burdensome. The scriptures seem silent, and my presence appears veiled behind a thick fog. You cannot comprehend how someone who has once been revived could fall into such a state. But I tell you this, in the midst of the darkness, my voice becomes clearer than ever if you will listen not with your emotions, but with faith. Darkness is not always a sign of failure. Sometimes it is an essential part of growth. When you enter that season of shadow, it does not mean you have regressed or lost something. Often, it is because I am leading you deeper. I am testing the roots of your faith. I want to know, will you still believe me when you feel nothing? Will you still follow when no one is clapping? Will you still cling to my promise when everything external seems to contradict it? This is not abandonment. This is the place where I refine. In such seasons of darkness, you will learn what the light cannot teach. You will learn to rely on my word rather than your circumstances. You will learn the discipline of stillness, to discern my whisper amidst the clamor. You will learn that I do not move according to your schedule, but I am never late on mine. You will learn that darkness cannot mislead a soul who keeps their eyes on me, believing though they do not see, obeying though they do not hear. Do you remember Joseph? I gave him dreams. Yet he was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for years, from glory to obscurity. But it was in that obscurity that I shaped him, refined his mind, taught him not only how to remain faithful, but how to rule with mercy. And when the time came, I lifted him from the pit and placed him where no one expected. No one saw the process, but Joseph heard my voice even in the dark. So too, I am preparing you, not for a comfortable life, but for an impactful one, not to stand out, but to carry true light into places no one else dares to go. But before I can use you as a lamp, I must be sure the light within you is not dependent on circumstances. That light must come from true communion with me unshaken, even when all external lights go out. That is why you must walk through this season where it feels like I am silent. But, my child, I have never left you. If ever you feel you cannot sense me, that is when I am closest. Just as a teacher is silent during a test, I am not quiet because I do not care, but because I am watching to see what you have learned. And every time you choose not to give up, every time you continue to pray without seeing results, every time you take another step with a heavy heart that pleases me more than 100 easy praises. Dear one, the darkness is not your dwelling place, but something you pass through. You were not made to live forever in the night, but to walk through it like a warrior bearing the light of heaven. And in the moments that feel the darkest, I will teach you lessons you will never forget. I will reveal aspects of myself that can only be felt in the silence and in the pain, not to harm you, but to deepen you, not to punish, but to forge. Remember, the enemy also uses darkness to whisper lies. He tells you that you've been abandoned, that what you believe is a fantasy, that my promises no longer stand. But child, recognize that voice. It is not mine. My voice never leads you to despair. My voice always carries hope, always brings you back to light. always reminds you that you are unconditionally loved. However long the night may last, dawn will come, and you will see I was never absent. So do not let go. Do not give up. Do not allow your present feelings to define your spiritual future. My silence is not a rejection. It is an invitation for you to dig deeper, to listen more attentively, to walk more steadily, and I promise you, the darkness will not last. One day soon, you will look back and see that in the most barren season, something holy was growing inside you, unshakable faith, trust that doesn't depend, and a love deeper than ever before. My beloved, no matter how long the night, no matter how heavy the trial, the calling I placed on you has not changed. It is not because you have never stumbled that you are called, but because I know you will rise. It is not because you are always strong that I entrust you, but because I am your strength. And in the days that seem meaningless, in the moments when you question the value of quiet faithfulness, that is when your mission is being fulfilled, piece by piece, breath by breath. I want you to understand, the fact that you are still breathing is proof that your purpose remains. No one lives without a calling, but some callings do not shout, they grow silently within. They do not need a spotlight, applause, or an audience of thousands. They only need a heart that does not turn back, a heart that says, even if no one sees, I will continue. And that, my child, is the heart I have seen in you. Never measure the value of your calling by human recognition. Some of the greatest callings are fulfilled in silence. A quiet prayer in the middle of the night. An act of forgiveness no one will ever know. A moment of resisting sin when no one is watching. All of these are part of the mission you are carrying out. And I am the one who sees it all. I am the one who rewards not based on applause, but on faithfulness, no matter how small. Child, I know there are days you ask, does my obedience make any difference? Are the things I hold on to even noticed? Does my refusal to compromise, my resistance to temptation, do they change anything in heaven or earth? And I say to you, yes. Every time you choose me in the dark, a part of my kingdom is expanded in your world. You are resisting the tide of darkness not by force, but by a quiet and powerful choice. Your calling is not confined to what you do. It begins with who you are becoming. I do not only want to use you as a tool, I want to dwell in you as an unquenchable flame. When you learn to keep that flame burning amidst the chill of adversity, that light will shine without the need for sermons or grand programs. It will impact others simply through your presence. Because in you, they will see something real, something the world cannot manufacture, and darkness cannot extinguish. My child, the world around you is full of noise. People rush to speak, to fight for attention, using eloquence to debate truth. But I am searching for those who do not just talk about light but live as light. Those who do not merely proclaim my name but reflect me in every attitude, decision, and thought. And you, yes, you, are one of them. You do not need to do something great to be counted. You only need to remain faithful in the task I have given you, however humble, however unseen, for it is often in the smallest things that the greatest tremors are felt in the spirit realm. The enemy wants you to forget your mission in moments of weariness. He wants you to believe you are wasting time. No one needs you. Nothing is changing. But, dear one, that is a lie. Your very presence, one who carries true light, one who stands for truth in a fallen world, is a declaration that the kingdom of darkness cannot prevail. Your steadiness, your unconditional obedience, is a living testimony to the world that there is another way, that there is real life, that there is one who still moves, and that one is me. So when you feel weary, do not turn back. When everything outside seems silent, hold on to my word as your compass in the night. When no one reminds you why you began, let me remind you, you are not living just for today. You are building for eternity. And what you do today, in the darkness, will become light for those who come after you. I will use every drop of sweat, every sigh, every lonely step you take to pave the way for a harvest greater than yourself. Do not think your mission begins when everything is right. No, it began right in the midst of trial, when you were still hurting, but still standing. When you wanted to give up, but still whispered, yes. When nothing was clear, but you kept praying. That is when you were fulfilling your assignment. And I, the one who gave you the mission, will also keep you until it is complete. You are not just surviving the storm. You are shaping the spiritual atmosphere around you. You are not merely enduring the dark, you are lighting it up. You are not just waiting for a better day. You are the living testimony that I still move in this broken world. And I promise you, in time, what I have sown in you will bloom. Not a single part will be wasted. For I do not forget those who are faithful, my beloved child. There is a sacred truth I want you to etch into your heart. Not a single tear you shed out of faithfulness to me is meaningless. Not a single step you take in the darkness escapes my sight. Not one prayer whispered in despair goes unheard by me. Even if the world does not acknowledge you, even if others forget your quiet devotion, in heaven every act is recorded in detail, and your reward will not be delayed. Some live their entire lives in quiet anonymity without title, without recognition, without earthly crowns. Yet when they cross into eternity, heaven resounds with a welcome, for these souls did not live for the applause of men, but for the words from my lips, well done, good and faithful servant. And I desire that you be counted among them. Never trade eternal rewards for fleeting praise. Never let temporary delay make you question my eternal faithfulness. O child, good things do not always come instantly. There are seasons of long sowing, days of labor with no visible fruit. But trust me, the harvest will come, not by chance, but because a spiritual law has been established. Those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. Psalm 126:5. What have you sown in the darkness? Patience, obedience, unwavering faith. Know this, you are preparing for a harvest far greater than anything you dared to ask for. Do not retreat. Do not let the enemy steal your reward through weariness and discouragement. He cannot touch what I have ordained for you unless you choose to give it up. That is why he whispers constantly, "You've made the wrong choice. You're wasting your time. Others have gone further than you." But remember, my child, the spiritual race is not measured by speed, but by endurance. It is not those who run the fastest who win, but those who do not stop. And you, even with slow steps, are on the right path. You have walked through dark days and kept your heart pure. You have endured pain without retaliation. You've been misunderstood and did not defend yourself. You have served quietly when no one thanked you. And I say to you, these are the evidences of true faith. A faith that needs no stage. but requires a cross. And this kind of faith I will reward in the last day, not for merit, but for steadfastness of heart. I know there are days you want to give up, times when you ask, is it worth living for God? Is it worth staying pure in this chaotic world? Is it foolish to offer my youth, my dreams, my chances to a sacred purpose I can't even see clearly? But my child, if you only saw the first chapter of a book, you couldn't understand its ending. And I am the author, writing every chapter of your life. I promise you the ending will make every sacrifice worth it. One day, in the glory that never fades, you will look back and see, every time you chose the narrow path, you never walked alone. I walked before you, beside you, and behind you, guarding every step, even on the days when you felt like crawling through ashes. I was holding you. The silent prayers, the tearful nights, the hidden sacrifices, they have woven for you an eternal crown, one that no one can take away. So, my child, do not look to man for your reward. Your reward does not come from leaders, or social platforms, or positions, or recognition. Your reward comes from me, and I am the one who never forgets. I am the one who sees all. I am the one who rewards justly. If you are faithful in the little, I will entrust you with much. If you refuse what is fleeting, I will give you what cannot be lost. If you choose me above all else, you will never come out empty. The day is coming when the veil will lift, the night will pass, and eternal light will shine over everything. On that day, you will understand. It was the darkness that made you strong. It was affliction that made you steadfast. It was in the silence when you thought I was absent that I was shaping you in the deepest way. And when you stand before me in glory, you will no longer ask, why? You will say, thank you for never letting go of me. Until that day, my beloved, continue on. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep obeying, for I am drawing near. The dawn is beginning to break on the horizon, and you, my child, are not far now. The reward awaits the faithful. And you, my dearly loved one, are among them. Beloved child, when the night stretches on as if it will never end, when your feet grow weary from walking alone, when your spirit has weathered every storm and still has not wavered, that is when the dawn begins to rise. Not with thunder, not with a violent wind, but with the gentle quiet of first light. Can you see it? I am doing something new, something the darkness cannot stop, something delay cannot hinder. The light is rising, and you are among the first to walk into it. There is a kind of light that does not come from the sun. It does not belong to time, nor is it governed by seasons or shaped by circumstance. It is the light of my presence, eternal light. It not only dispels darkness, but heals what the darkness has broken. It not only gives clarity of sight, but resurrects dreams thought long dead. It not only shows you the way, but shows you who you truly are in me, with me, and for me. Do you remember when Moses came down from Mount Sinai after 40 days of meeting with me? His face shone so brightly that people could not even look at him. That light did not come from the sun, but from deep communion with the Holy One. And you, too, when you emerge from this darkness, will not be seen the same. You will bear the mark of transformation. No explanation needed. No proof required. Your presence alone will declare that you have walked through the long night with your God. I have seen your faithfulness. I have heard your silent prayers. I have witnessed your chosen sacrifices when no one asked them of you. And now, I will not only reward you, I will give you myself. My presence is the greatest gift you could ever receive. From it flows all things: wisdom, open doors, healing, restoration, and influence. But it begins with one thing: my full entry into your life, like a light that never fades. This light does not come only to comfort you, it comes to consume what is no longer needed. It will shine into places in your heart you've hesitated to face. It will reveal truth not to shame, but to set free. My light is unlike the world's. It does not expose to humiliate, but to remind you that you are deeply loved despite every weakness. And when it shines into your darkest corners, you'll understand nothing in you surprises me, and nothing in you is beyond my power to redeem. And now, as you stand at the threshold of a new season, let this light lead you. Do not rush toward success or noise. Do not rebuild the old with a fresh coat of paint. Let my light guide you into something never seen before. You are not called to repeat, you are called to pioneer. Not by haste, but by obedience. Not by comparison, but by sensitivity to the Spirit. Be ready, for I will open new doors. Connections you never imagined will form. Opportunities that once closed will open in unexpected ways. What once rejected you will now seek you out. But don't be distracted by what's external. The greatest thing is what's happening inside you, a spirit re-established, a soul no longer afraid of the dark, a person who knows they belong to the light and are sent to carry that light where no one has dared to go. You are no longer who you used to be. You are the dawn, not because you are perfect, but because the perfect light is in you. I have made you a bearer of fire, not to warm yourself, but to burn away the darkness around you. You will be a living reminder that the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1-5. And you who once were lost, exhausted, and ready to give up will now be living proof that I am still at work in this chaotic world. My beloved child, walk with courage. Do not tremble at what lies ahead. I do not only go before you to clear the path, I am within you to perform miracles. What you once prayed for in others will now manifest in your own life. What you once waited for from the outside, I will now bring forth from within. For you have been prepared not merely to survive, but to overcome, not by sword or spear, but by the power of the light that never fades. My beloved child, now that the light has dawned within your spirit, know that I have not given it to you merely for comfort. I have given it to you for battle. This light is not simply a gift, it is a weapon, a flame, a sharpened sword forged in the darkness, now ready to drive back the shadows around you. Remember, you were not rescued just to live safely, you were rescued to become a warrior. And in this spiritual battlefield, the light within you is what makes the enemy tremble. When you were weary, he did not mind. When you doubted yourself, it paid no attention. But when my light began to rise in you, when your heart became steadfast and unshakable, when my presence became sacred and tangible within you, that is when he began to panic. Because you were no longer a victim, you had become a carrier of power. You no longer lived in fear, you stood in conviction. You no longer avoided the darkness, you were sent to destroy it. You will begin to feel the clash of kingdoms, not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are stepping into what is right. The forces of darkness that once lay dormant will begin to resist, but do not fear. That resistance is proof that the light within you is active. This is what the prophets, the apostles, and all those I have called in every generation have faced, not because they were weak, but because they carried the fire of heaven. And you, my faithful one, are carrying that same fire. But this light does not come to destroy people. It comes to break chains. When you walk into a place filled with pain, this light will bring healing, even when they cannot understand why. When you speak my word, it will pierce like dawn, cutting through thick fog, not by skill, but by power, not by personal strength, but by my presence in you. And that is something no force can stand against. My child, do not think you need weapons like the world's. You do not need to argue, shout, or put on a display. You need only to stand still, and the light within you will do the rest. It will expose what is false without an attack. It will reveal truth without condemnation. It will cause even the hardest hearts to begin to reconsider. For where true light appears, there is no need for justification. Its presence alone unmasks all that is hidden. You will see, in the days to come, people will be drawn to you, not because you are impressive, but because you are clear. They are not looking for someone perfect. They are searching for a soul that carries real light, light refined by tears, by surrender, and by faithfulness. And you will not need to seek them out. I will bring them to you, not because you have every answer, but because I will place my words in your mouth, and the light will be the undeniable witness. I do not need you to become a copy of someone else. I need you to stand strong as yourself, the one who carries the fire I have ignited. Remember this: light does not need to be large to drive out darkness. Even the smallest spark can light the way in a shadowed room. And you, though you may feel small, are that spark in your family, in your community, and among those drowning in despair. Do not underestimate the spiritual impact you carry, even if you don't see it yet. Every place you pass is marked. Every conversation you have, every glance filled with hope you give it all, carries the imprint of my light. One day, people will say, "It was that person who kept me from giving up. It was that one who said something I still remember to this day. It was that soul who showed me God is real." And perhaps you will never hear those words on this earth, but in heaven, it is written clearly. And one day, in glory, when all is revealed, you will understand why I preserved you, refined you, and placed eternal light within your heart. My child, when the light within you begins to burn brightly, you will no longer just pray to survive. You will begin to pray to influence. You will no longer ask, "How can I get through this?" but will say, "Use me to change this situation." And that is when you will shift from being the rescued to becoming the rescuer, not by human might, but by the brilliance of the light I have placed within your heart. So keep the flame alive. Nurture that light through worship, through my word, and through continual communion with me. Do not let it be extinguished by distraction, fear, or spiritual laziness. You cannot afford for that light to grow dim in a world descending into chaos. The world doesn't need more imitation. It is craving what is true, and the light in you is heaven's answer to that deep longing. My beloved child, this is the moment I want you to pause, not to turn back, but to look back. You have walked a long journey, one that no one else could walk for you, and no one could fully understand but you and me. Every step you took, every turn you made, every sigh in the night, I witnessed it all. And today, as you stand at the close of one season, I say to you, this is not the end. It is the beginning. You have come from darkness into light, from doubt into faith, from silently falling to standing firm, from wounded to healer, from a shattered soul to a vessel in my hands. Nothing in you is accidental. No crack is wasted. No pain has been in vain. I have used it all to rebuild you from within. And now you are a completely different creation. You are no longer a seed buried in the ground. You are a tree grown tall, roots deep and branches lifted high. You are no longer waiting for the harvest. You are the harvest of prayers once prayed. No longer just one seeking answers. You are the answer I will use to touch the lives of others. The words you speak will not come from theory, but from lived truth. For you have endured, you have stood, and you have overcome. Listen closely, my child. Every dark season you've endured, every closed door, every delay, every betrayal, every shock and every tear, they were all part of the good plan I designed. A plan not only to change you, but through you, to change others. You are living proof of my faithfulness, and you will no longer just hear of miracles. You will be part of the miracle for many. So walk into this new season not with hesitation, but with courage. Go forward with the assurance that you are no longer alone. You are no longer stumbling in the night. You are carrying a lamp to guide others. I will position the right people at the right time. I will lead you into places that once seemed impossible. I will open doors no one can shut. For your time is no longer coming, it has begun. You are no longer one waiting for the miracle. You are the miracle unfolding. And never forget this. I chose you before the foundation of the world, not because you were better than others, but because you allowed me to shape you. Not because you were flawless, but because you did not resist the refining. The ones I use most powerfully are often the ones who have been broken the deepest, and you are proof of that. Once more I say to you, go forward. Do not delay. Do not wait for the perfect conditions. Do not ask for more signs. You already have my word. You already have enough light. You already have enough of my presence to begin. And I, myself, will walk with you every step, though the thorns may increase, though trials may remain. The grace for you has multiplied even more, and your reward is already before you, not just in this life, but in eternal life. When you said yes, heaven trembled. When you did not give up, thousands of souls received hope. When you interceded, the veil of darkness over others was torn, and you may not have known it, but I knew, and I remembered. On the day when all is revealed, you will be amazed by what your quiet faithfulness accomplished. And I will say before all of heaven's hosts, well done, my beloved child. Enter into the joy of your Lord. And now, my child, let this final word reach the deepest part of your soul. The light within you will never be extinguished. As long as you hold on to me, I am the eternal light. No night is too dark for me to shine through. No pit too deep for me to lift you out. And no past powerful enough to stop the brilliant future I have prepared for you. From this moment forward, You will no longer walk as one still seeking the answer. You will walk as one who carries the answer, me, and I am in you. I walk with you. I fight for you. I protect you. I empower you. I raise you up, and I rewrite your destiny with my very own eternal life. Beloved child, a new season has begun. It is unlike any season that came before. It does not repeat the old patterns. It is no longer confined by the limitations you once believed to be true. This is the season you are being sent forth, carrying the light of eternity within your heart. And wherever your feet tread, darkness will have to retreat. For you are no longer merely a survivor, you are a bearer of life. Walk forward with peace, with steadfastness, with power, with unshakable love, and with a light that never fades, because I am your God, and you are mine, forever. No one can take that away. Thank you for listening to today's message. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we may continue to receive the living word together. Build an unshakable faith and walk in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.